Okay, so I went ahead and pinned my waistband all along the edge of my shorts or pants. You start by lining up the edge of your fly shield to the stitching line that you did on your your waistband. I went all the way around. I just want to remind you to make sure that you pin down your darts in the proper direction that you press them to, because sometimes when you're sewing, this can all start to like shift around a little bit on you. So I want you to just, double check that, so when you're sewing that you don't push the darts in the wrong direction. Okay, so now you would go ahead and hand baste this whole thing on, which I just pin basted it. And you're going to stitch at your seam allowance that was on your pattern. Oops, sorry, I was trying to adjust the camera a little bit. Actually, I'm going to sew from the waistband side. No, I'm not. I take that back. I'm going to sew from the inside of the pant. I just want to make sure that you see this part of the waistband. Make sure you pull that out of your way so you don't catch it in your stitching. It's that part that you folded under. So you're going to start right at that edge. Make sure you don't catch that fold line. I like to put my needle down with the hand wheel first. Just make sure the waistband's out of the way. Back stitch, and then just go on with your seam allowance. Okay, that's to the end. So you're going to make sure that this side also, you don't want to catch that, if you can see. I'll show you when I take it out of the camera. Well, I just want to make sure that you don't catch this fold line when you're stitching, if you can see that. Okay, so now the next step is going to be that I'm going to, let me move my camera, turn the waistband out and make sure nothing was pinched. You can go back with your point turner. And then what's going to happen, let me just get it started. You're going to take this piece, it's going to wrap, oh wait, I got to back up. You're going to press seams open, right, and then press them flat back up into the waistband. And you don't really need to trim here much. If it's thick, then I would trim this interfacing side, but you have make that decision, like just a little bit. Sometimes you just want that extra stability around the waist. Okay, so now again I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to hold down the seam allowance here, and I'm going to push it into the waistband so it's nice and neat like that. This might be an area where you feel like maybe I should trim or grade it, and then we're going to pin it. And I'm just going to do a small little section. Actually, I can go back to the other pant and show you what I did, because you don't need to sit there and watch me pin. So I pinned it like this. Wait, hold on. I pinned it down all the way around onto that, right above that stitch line. You don't want to go past your stitch line. You pin it all the way down. Then you just go ahead and top stitch it right here along this edge. So that's why I said from the outside, I like to do it this way. So if the inside doesn't line up as much, it's okay. But if you did it the reverse way, then you would just be like, let's say this was the inside, then you would just hand sew that down so that you don't see any stitches on the other side. But that's pretty much it. And that's your classic waistband.